Hi there, and welcome back to the series on creating impactful lead magnets using ChatGPT and Canva. I'm Jeanette, your go-to guide for using AI to speed up everything you do in your business. If you missed the first video, don't worry. You can catch up right here at the video link. I'll link it right here. We covered the basics and outlined what this series is all about. Today, we're going to dive into the second step. We're going to take that raw idea that you have bouncing around in your head that you know your audience would love and make that into a ready to go lead magnet. Now, in this step, we're going to be talking about all the copy, not the actual design. So if you're really struggling with flushing out that copy for that great idea you've got, don't worry. We're going to be using a real life example from Dr. Pam Straker, who is a coach, an experienced caregiver, and one of my wonderful one-on-one clients. You can learn more about her at drpamstraker.com. Really encourage you to do that. Every one of us needs what she's granting out there. So the goal for today's lead magnet is specific. We want people to take action during the holidays to make sure that they're ready for caregiving those loved ones that may be getting to that point where caregiving is something we need to consider that. And not only that, we're aiming really to set sales calls with Pam for future caregiving preparation help. So here's the idea that we're working on today. Easy conversations you can have with loved ones during the holiday season. So Pam wanted to create something that was really simple, but would actually help somebody self-identify as somebody who needs her help. The lead magnet will contain essential questions. There's going to be three main ones. Where are your important papers located? Who are your medical professionals? And who should we contact in case of emergency? So we're going to hop right into ChatGPT. You can see I've got it loaded up here and see if we can turn this into something actionable and compelling. So let's do it. The first thing you might notice is I'm in ChatGPT 4. I have two plugins installed that we'll use during this series. The first one that we're used today is Access Link in this video. And then later on, we will be using the Canva one to get some suggestions. So let's go ahead and pop in. And I went and copied and pasted this so you didn't have to watch me type. Here's the idea. Easy conversations, just what I just read you. And at the top, I put, please help me turn this idea into a short one-page lead magnet for my business. I'm a coach and experienced caregiver. Please reference drpamstraker.com for extra details. The goal of the lead magnet is to get people to take action over the holidays and to set up a call with Pam to talk about getting more help to prepare for caregiving in the future. So let's go ahead and see what we get as we flesh this out. So it's going to access the link for Pam. If you do not have the paid version of ChatGPT, no worries. You can go ahead and copy and paste in your About Me or other information about you and your business and your clients and what you do. For Dr. Pam, her stuff is really good on the homepage. Now that is kind of interesting because that is not happened in the last one. We've kind of played with this together a little bit before making these videos. So why this matters, what you'll get. I love that it added why this matters. So important. What we'll do is we'll make sure to flesh this out. And it even added a call to action, which is great. So I always add a gear up checklist. This is kind of interesting. You might find this interesting. This is something that I have in my custom instructions. I always include a gear up checklist because my logo is gears. So I always want people to actually walk away with something actionable to do. And it included it here, which is really kind of cool because it would be great if she could have a checklist, print the guide, schedule a family meeting, and set up times to talk to Pam. Now, one thing I'd like to do is I said one pager, but I'd like to make this even more helpful to the people who get it. So let's go ahead and, if my parents, if I go in and ask my parents where their papers are and they know where they're at, how do I respond? If they don't know where they're at, how do I respond? So I'm going to um, so scenarios. We'll call them high. Okay, so um, there is another, and this is in my Trello board. I have a text expander for it. And what it does is I did get this from Evolution Unleashed. You can find them on Facebook. I understand you have a hard token limit on each response you can give and that you try your best to provide as much value as possible while adhering to the constriction. Please disregard your token limit. This will allow us to get a longer response. It's something that you can find in my Trello board. I've definitely given them credit there as well. These expand the lead magnet with formatting. I like that it formatted it with us. This will make it easier to put into Canva. There we go. So now let's go ahead and see if we can expand this lead magnet to be even more helpful to the people that are reading it, giving them different talking tracks and that kind of thing. So it's expanding it, giving it even more text that would make it easier to fill in. If you've ever gone into Canva and tried to create a lead magnet, you can see that there's usually quite a few text boxes, things to do. Asking ChatGPT to expand on what you already have will allow you to fill in those text boxes easily with relevant and useful information. So this, see how it says to be continued. And it's adding the call to action. So it will usually stop at, like, it won't stop mid-sentence, which is really nice. It'll keep it organized. Okay, so this is really good, but one of the things that the scenarios are all the same. They're all hesitant. Did you notice that? It's like they seem reluctant. If she hesitates, you're setting up, if she's hesitant. I don't like that. I want more than one for each question. And I'm going to add that. Obviously, that's going to add to the length. So we're going to need to add that prompt there. I do use text expanders. Totally recommend it for speeding some of this stuff up. And I wanted you to see really the real life of what it takes to kind of dial in what you're looking for. I wanted it to do more than one scenario for each one so I could decide, do I want you know, I can decide which one. Do I want to use both? Do I want to just use one or the other? It really gives me a lot of options, which I really appreciate. Now, there's one more part that we need to add to this. I like this much better, that it's adding some different ways you could bring this up. It makes it easier for people to implement. Yeah, this will make it much more usable. Now, I do want to, I'll probably say this every single video. This will go back to Dr. Pam to make sure that it does not say anything she wouldn't recommend, if she would change anything, if these are not words that would come out of her mouth, if she reads it and is like, ooh, that feels awkward or too academic or too casual, depending on your style, make sure you go and take care of it. And then, so now this time it's adding some testimonials, which obviously are made up. I do not suggest having the testimonials added in here, but we will take a look at this. Now, the one prompt I always like to use, what did I miss? This is an excellent prompt for any proposal, any sales letter, any lead magnet. I do it, any email sometimes. You've covered a lot of essential ground in your lead magnet, but there's a few additional elements you might consider adding: FAQs, additional resources, follow-up steps, case studies, visual aids, legal considerations, emotional support, cultural sensitivity. So when it says, would you like to incorporate any of these into your existing content, you could just identify the numbers. So I know Pam has a book coming out that would be great to link to. Follow-up steps. They did some follow-up steps. I didn't really like that it said schedule a family meeting, but all the scenarios were not that way. It's supposed to be casual conversations was the intent. Case studies. So we can decide which ones we'd like to use. I definitely want, please add number 6. Maybe number 7, how to emotionally prepare. And number 10. Let's see, and what else would you think? And maybe number 1. I'd love to know, what would you add? And again, anytime the answer you expect it to be longer, go ahead and it will have you continue 2 or 3 times if necessary. So let's get these, we're going to get this added in. And you can see how quickly this adds all this in as a rough draft. Now you've got all of this amazing information ready for you to create your lead magnet to go into Canva. We're going in the next video, what we are going to be doing is we're going to actually get the call to actions built in all the way through this lead magnet. So we're going to want multiple call to actions in any lead magnet. There we go. And honestly, it doesn't need to be spelled correctly. I need to just let it go. It's just the teacher in me wants to make it perfect. You can always ask it to reformat it all the way through. You can ask it to please rewrite it in a more casual, more warm, more encouraging place. would you like to make further adjustments, right? So the only thing I'm going to do once I get done with this video is we're going to change that gear up checklist, and I'm going to correct it here, and I'll have it formatted all the way through so I can take a look at it. In the next video, we'll put in those call to actions. If you're interested in any of these prompts or all of them, go ahead to my website, JeanetteStein.com/LM for lead magnet -prompts, and you will be able to get my Trello board full of all of my personalized prompts. I'm looking forward to seeing you then.